I watched 2 hours of the Tinder swindler, so you don't have to. You're welcome. You can pay me back by subscribing to my channel. I just wanted to quickly debrief. This is not going to be deep. This is not going to be long. That's what she said. I saw a lot of memes about the show and I was like, you know what? I've watched Too Hot to Handle, so I have no more reality TV to watch. So what am I going to do? Am I going to have original thoughts? Hell no. I'm going to go watch another show. I actually kind of fell asleep at the end, so the story is about this guy called Simon, if that's even his real name. He likes to juggle with lots of different women, take their money, and live a very, very extravagant lifestyle, aka traveling to a different country like every day and ordering everything on the menu at any restaurant and paying for everybody's champagne at the club. You know, the life that I'm trying to live, but without coning people because that's not cool. Basically, you follow 3 different women and their experience with Simon as their boyfriend, friend, and then boyfriend. One thing that was well done was how interconnected all of the women were. At first, I was like, okay, I don't really see where this is going. But then I realized, oh, he's using like this credit card that's under her name for her, but for her, he's using hers. I need to know about his astrological sign. I'm gonna look it up. And he is a obviously. The first red flag that I want to talk about is that he is selling himself as a billionaire, well, the son of a billionaire, and he's on Tinder. For very either famous or rich people, you have different apps for that. You don't go on Tinder if you're actually rich and famous, okay? Because you don't want to be associated with peasants and people that don't have as much money as you because you cannot keep up with the lifestyle if that's the case. Tinder has a reputation, okay? For most of the women, they were kind of like older and ready to settle down and to find love. So I understand how Tinder was not about sex for them, but also a billionaire on Tinder. So the first woman called Cecilia, they had a date at a very fancy hotel. They met for coffee. It was like instant love. They hit it off, whatever. Next thing you know, he's telling her, you can call me like the Prince of Diamonds because I'm the son of someone, I'm the CEO of LLD Diamonds, which my father technically owns, but also I'm the CEO. He also has a daughter, so he sells himself as a single dad. So, they hit it off, coffee, whatever, it's fun. Cecilia's having fun. She's like, oh my god, I finally found someone that, through his pictures, I see that he likes to travel. I see that he likes to party. I see that he has money. And, he seems like a very stable person to start maybe to, have a relationship. You know what he tells her? He says, travel with me on my private jet to Bulgaria. And she says yes, right after coffee. Okay, moving on. So he was like, yeah, I'm a single dad, whatever. Turns out the mom is actually still in the picture, carrying their daughter, and she's on the private plane with Cecilia, which she defines as like her first date with Simon, even though they got coffee. It does sound cooler than to be like, oh yeah, we just like got coffee. They have fun in Bulgaria, and then it's like, oh, I'm busy. I have to travel a lot for work, so you gotta go back home. Basically, his methodology, I guess, is to go really slow to make them fall in love with him, and then to ask for money. That's a con artist. He does that for a living. He's been doing it for a while, and as you're gonna see at the end, he basically got away with it. Yeah. There's an ongoing meme about like his enemies and Simon like enemies. He was always like, baby girl, like I need money, my enemies are after me. He was showing bullets that he got in the mail. He was showing funeral flowers that he received, supposedly, allegedly, okay, to his apartment. I think for me it's just really funny because Cecilia said he started sending her like those pictures right after they became official, and he asked her out officially a month after they started dating. I think it was the only date that they had. They were just texting and calling and, not really hanging out because he was so busy with work, aka cunning woman. He's setting the terrain so that she's kind of scared for him and actually cares and like wants to help in the near future, which she definitely regrets now. This second woman called Pernilla. Basically, I think they went on a date for a coffee. They didn't vibe romantically, so they decided to stay friends. She says, well, I want to book you a trip to wherever, and I need your passport information. And then she gave him her passport information. What? if you've been on dating apps, always Google. They put a big emphasis on that, but don't just Google someone you date. Find their social media, get all the information you need because you need to be safe out there. Well, you can never really know who you're going on a date with, but at least get pictures for your friends, give them your location. I'm not joking. Stop rolling your eyes. Always stay safe, whether it's like Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, whatever else. So that was Pernilla. So we go back to Cecilia. He was like, oh, move in with me. Go apartment hunting for us. And she goes, she's apartment hunting in London, I think. Puts an offer on an apartment. He loves it. And then that's when he sends her pictures of his bodyguard, Peter, that got allegedly assaulted. And he's just like, Peter hurt. Danger. He's like talking in code words, which I guess under the adrenaline it will make sense. But also, he sent her a video. He was filming himself in the ambulance. He was just like, like getting his best angle, getting the right lighting. I understand that Cecilia was scared in the moment, but looking back, I'm just like, this was so staged. It was probably taken out of context and it was probably after a drunken night or something, right? Anyways, Cecilia doesn't know that because she is in love. And she just put an offer on an apartment, so. And then he was like, oh, my enemies. I'm going to start using that. My enemies are after that. After me. My enemies are after me. He was like, oh, my enemies are tracking my credit card. And it's like, bro, you post on Instagram 24/7. I think they can track more than your credit cards. But Cecilia mentioned that she checked his location on Tinder, which means that he has his geotag activated on Tinder. Oh, that's it. That was his excuse to be like, hey babes, can you open like an American Express card for me? Because like under your name, I'll pay you back, I promise. But mine is like, I can't use it because they're gonna track it and they're gonna kill me because like, enemies. She says, yeah. And then guess what? He maxes the card in less than a week. You know what she has to do? Break up with him? Yeah. Tell him off? Yeah. But she takes out a loan and another one and another one. And another one. Pretty soon, her total comes to $250,000 in loans. That, by the way, she's still paying back right now. Back to Pernilla. When he said, everything you're doing is keeping me safe. And I'm like, well, yeah, she's literally your sugar mama. She's paying for you to get the lifestyle that you so desperately want to project on social media. From what I gathered, she's a bit more rich than Cecilia, so she already had 30K in savings. Obviously it was not enough, so she had to take an extra 10 grand, and then he didn't pay her back and she got like a little sketch, and that's when he was like, give me your passport information, and she did. And then they went on vacation together. I can't remember why, but he had to employ her under LLD Diamond. On the other hand, we have Cecilia that's still taking more loans. He had promised that he would visit her in Oslo to meet her family. He didn't come because, haha, it turns out he was with Pernilla in Mykonos, Greece, with his Russian top model, other girlfriend, Polina. Okay, so Cecilia is starting to get a little, sussed out because, like, she got a check. The bank was like, we're not cashing that in and we can't tell you why. Homegirl's gonna get a little sus. Finally, thank you. So she calls the bank. She finds out what he does for a living. She called the American Express people and she's like, so this is what's happening on my account. This is the guy that I've been dating that has been using my card. The two Amex people look at each other and they're like, yeah, that's the guy we're looking for. That's when she realizes that she was conned and that Simon, although it is technically his real name, has been lying about everything. She blocks him, then Simon calls her mom, and then she gets freaked out because he knows where she lives. To be fair, she doesn't know if she's in danger or not. That's a big point that a lot of people that I saw made fun of the victims did not understand. Like, it's just so real when you're in it. I understand that she was scared for her life, especially because he kept threatening her. Don't you dare cross me, I'll make you pay. And in her head, he's still this like diamond son of billionaire dude that obviously has the means to actually kill her if he needs to. Again, little PSA, bullying online is still bullying and you should never blame the victim no matter what. So basically his like whole scheme, you have woman number one that is paying for woman number 2, that is paying for woman number 3, and then woman number 3 is paying for woman number 1. Obviously bigger than that. Dealings were estimated at like 10 millions of dollars. 10 millions, yeah. He was waiting for, a month, 2 months to make you fall in love with him, to make you understand that he was actually really wealthy, to prove to you that he was wealthy, to prove to you or make you believe that he had enemies, that he was endangered, that he was actually really, that he had a complicated life, and that you were supposed to be lucky to get to spend time with him. Basically, that's when I kind of started to like sleep. I don't remember where. Okay, Cecilia was like, I'm gonna come forward with the story, so I gotta go to the biggest newspaper out there, VG something. Those journalists went to Israel to find out Simon's old address because he had a different name. A lot of victims came forward and could identify him because he had pictures. Like, Cecilia has videos of the private plane of, like, it was real. And I think that's what made the con even smarter, because he delivered with money that was never his. So basically, the journalists worked with like the local police. They managed to get some pictures of him and Pernilla coming out of a restaurant. She was onto it, that like she also called them. And so that article, you probably have seen it actually, became in the whole entire world a hot read. Everybody knew who the Tinder swindler was. Everybody knows who Simon is. So he did get arrested, because then there's this third main woman, Ayleen, who was his girlfriend at the time when the article came out. He was obviously asking her for money, and she works in luxury fashion, and she was like, oh, send me your clothes, because he was only wearing designers, and I'll send you the money back. Turns out she got all of his clothes, blocked him, and she's still selling her stuff, actually. I don't know if her eBay is linked anywhere. After that article, she was the only one, like she was like, oh, I still love you. She was pretending to actually still care about him just to get his clothes and be able to sell them and technically like pay herself back in a way. He went to jail for 5 months, and he has never been charged to defrauding like any woman at all. And when that article came out, a lot of victims came forward and were like, oh, he was my babysitter when I was 20. Oh, we were dating in 2015. And so many testimonies of people that got robbed that are still paying off their debt because they matched with Simon on Tinder. Like I said, I think the documentary, whatever you want to call it, the way it was done was super boring. I did not like it. When it comes to actually shedding light on a very important topic, an interesting area. Because first off, I want to know, what would have been the first red flag that you saw from like his profile? Mine was like a billionaire on Tinder. The one thing that I want you to take away, because I saw a lot of people making fun of the woman that got caught up in his charm and his lifestyle and stuff, and actually gave him a lot of money, so much that they're, the next generation is probably gonna have to pay for their debts. Just like an abusive, toxic relationship. You don't know until you've been in one. You don't realize what you've gone through until you're out of it. I just like want to make that very clear. I think overall it was like kind of boring. Would not recommend. 4 out of 10. If you're really bored and have nothing else to watch, but I promise you there's like other stuff to watch. And lastly, I'm speaking as a woman that has been on dating apps. Please, 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 please stay safe. I was so baffled when I heard that Cecilia, as her first date, went on a private plane with a total stranger. Am I saying I wouldn't do it? I don't know until I've been put in a situation. Call me. You can never really truly know who someone is, even like a friend of a friend. Even if someone sets you up, always send your location to someone. Send pictures of them. Even if they're a catfish, at least someone's gonna know what to look for if anything goes wrong. And I don't want to take the fun out of the documentary, but I mean, there was no fun to begin with. Before you go, remember to empty your email boxes, because that pollution is not cute. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you in my next one. Stay safe.